Good morning, friends. This morning topic is learning beyond books. Well, friend, there's no denying the fact that learning beyond book is an experimental approach where education extends past rote memorization into real world application. Nowadays, what is happening? Bookish knowledge is no more helpful. You need to have knowledge beyond books. You need to have exploring ideas about any topic. When you are facing an interview of a corporate level, the questionnaire will be on how much you know the world and how much you can really apply your knowledge to resolving issues. So, learning beyond books is an experimental approach where education extends past rote memorization into real world application by engaging in hands-on activities. Is in schools and colleges there are activities, they are known as hands-on activities, projects, and everyday interaction. Interaction is the best way of learning. The more you interact with people, the more you interact with your friends, the more you interact with your relatives and your family members, the more ideas you will gather. So it builds a kind of practical skill, emotional intelligence, and adaptability, equipping individuals to thrive in dynamics. You see, if you really want to live and govern the dynamic environment of the world where the intellectuals are full of ideas, you need to have knowledge beyond books. Friends, we always focus on the concept in the books, but we don't actually focus on the application of knowledge. That is the biggest error and fallacy on modern education. Why experience based learning matters? You can ask this question. Why experience based learning matters? Traditional textbooks provide necessary foundational knowledge, but they often encourage passive reading. Children often go for reading the books, but they don't actually apply the knowledge that they have gathered from the book. Moving beyond pages, going into the exploring ideas, innovative ideas. Concrete advantage of learning comes only when you explore the idea. Deep comprehension. Comprehension plays an important role in everyone's life, particularly the budding talents, the children need to have deep comprehension. Now, deep comprehension requires, you know, a kind of applying a scientific concept to a practical experiment or project. The project cements the knowledge permanently, they make it concrete. Soft skills development. See, often the educators pay attention on hard skills. Hard skills are knowledge oriented, book oriented, but soft skills are emotional. That is emotional strength, emotional knowledge, emotional capability is equally important. And so soft skill can be developed only when activities like group collaboration. Now the time has come that collaborative learning must be encouraged. Collaborative learning, internship, and field trips teach us how to work together, how to think critically, how to adapt, and how to learn from mistakes. That is the reason why learning beyond books is imperative. Core method of learning. This holistic educational approach relies on several practical pillars. The first one is hands-on experiment and projects. Students must be given enough hands-on experiment and projects, enough, as much as we can give. Then we should also have mentorship conversation, gaining diverse perspectives and wisdom from others' life experience. That is equally important. Then exploring and travel. Travel is a part of learning. When you are having hands-on experiments and projects, you are turning abstract knowledge into physical and practical realities. Mentorship also plays an important role, gaining diverse perspective and wisdom from others' life experience. Exploring through traveling. Immense importance is different culture and environment. When you travel from one place to another place, you discover more about how these modern techniques transform theoretical knowledge into future life skills. Exploring educational ideas. So, friends, it is very important to be practical, to be growth oriented, to be project oriented, to be exploring ideas, to be practical, to be applicable, to be capable, to build capacity, to develop emotional aspects, and to have knowledge beyond book. Bookish knowledge simply is a lower foundation. The building will be stronger only when you have knowledge beyond the books, and that also requires mentorship. You see, you cannot really gather information and simply say that I have become the master of this concept. You need to have someone who is your mentor, who will guide you, who will make you things learn and apply in your real life. Then you read the biographies of some of the great scientists. You will realize that how they have explored the idea. Years and years they have spent in exploring and inventing one idea, and they have worked on that project dauntlessly and effortlessly, and eventually they have gathered new principle, new ideas, which now we are applying in day-to-day life. So, friends, knowledge beyond book is an imperative way of learning. It is growth related. It is emotional. It is practical. It is capacity building, and it is much more than the bookish knowledge. Bookish knowledge is just a little foundation. You can say that it is simple foundation. Therefore, friends, learning beyond books is an experimental approach where education extends past rote memorization into real world application. So we should engage the children in hands-on activities, projects and everyday interactions so that it can build practical skill, emotional intelligence and adaptability, equipping individuals to thrive in dynamics. We need to have traditional textbook replaced by some new foundational ideas, and then encourage active learning rather than passive learning. Moving beyond pages offers concrete advantages, and deep comprehension is very important. Apply the scientific concept to a practical experiment, or making things more experimental, more experiential rather than theoretical. And that is what Edison believed. Thank you. Have a nice morning. Thanks.